Hey there, how's it going? Quick question. Are you an Uber, Lyft, any kind of rideshare driver in New York City, and you're trying to rush to go get a cab, go get an electric vehicle so you can get one of these like for hire licenses before the the court stay goes into effect Monday morning? Well, make sure you watch this video in its entirety because you don't want to make a huge mistake with the car you end up purchasing. So I'm Richard. I'm just a dude who owns um, Tesla, an electric vehicle. I've been driving one for now 2 years now, going on something like that. And it's really cool. I get a lot of questions from people, and I really try to share my experiences with people. Now, this conversation came up because a friend of mine, he came over the other day and was asking about starting a business, and I asked him what it's for, and he said that yeah, the city's giving out these. Opening up like the licenses for Uber, Lyft, rideshares, which there was a pause on from a couple years ago. But one of the caveats is that you have to have it's I think for wheelchair vehicles, but also for electric vehicles. And there's also litigation between like I forgot some taxi union or organization that so there's this, as of recording this video on Saturday, there's a stay going into effect on Monday. So Uber and Lyft drivers are rushing to buy electric vehicles so that they can, I guess, submit the application before that Monday 9 a.m. stay. Anyways, all of that aside, that's what got me thinking about this. So when my friend asked me about, um, you know, getting the license set or the business set up and whatnot, I asked him what kind of car are you looking to get, and he said a Toyota BZ4X, and I told him, whoa, 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 stop right there. And like as I was talking to him more about it, he had no idea about the charging and whatnot. He just kind of assumed almost that like all electric vehicles kind of operate the same way. And it got me thinking like this is something that you need to pay particular attention to, because especially if you're using a car for, trips where you need to be in and out super quick, you got to be really careful about which car you end up getting, because there's lots of different infrastructure and hardware that impacts the performance, particularly the battery performance of your car. So let's dive into it. If you haven't driven an electric vehicle before, there's going to be somewhat of a learning curve with the battery, getting the battery to charge quickly, all that kind of stuff. But first thing you need to know is that there's different kinds of plugs, and it's getting to the point where there have been two main types of plugs. The one on the left here is CCS, and this one on the right here is the Tesla plug, otherwise known as NACS. There's one other plug called J1772. So the J1772 is like the older plug. That was when Nissan Leaf and Toyota Prius were like the only electric vehicles around, but those charge relatively slow. If you've seen around New York City, particularly the flow chargers in certain areas, like here in Astoria, there's certain blocks where they have flow chargers. Those are J1772. They're not intended to charge super fast. They're it's faster than plugging into like a regular household outlet, but they're very slow. Especially if you're like doing rideshare, you want to be in and out of a charger as quickly as possible. So you're looking for DC fast charging is what it's going to be. And these are the two options that you have: CCS and Tesla. Now, if you paid any attention to the news in the last couple of months, Tesla, this is proprietary hardware. And then all the major brands that were starting to produce electric vehicles: Ford, Volkswagen, Audi, Toyota, VinFast, you name whatever other electric vehicles, they were all using CCS. And then in the last couple of months, first Ford said that starting, I think, 2025, they're going to switch over and use the Tesla standard. Then a whole bunch of other manufacturers said in a couple of years they're going to move over to Tesla. So this plug at this point, it's still usable, but in just like a year or 2 years, this is going to be phased out. So that's one thing to consider. Like if using this plug moving forward in a year or 2 years, you're probably going to have to buy an adapter. Not that an adapter is a problem, but you're going to have to buy an adapter. So practically all vehicle manufacturers are moving over to the Tesla standard, this charger here. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, the really big part of an electric vehicle is charging the battery. You want speed. I remember a couple of, I forgot, maybe a year now ago by this time, I was visiting some family up in Connecticut, and I went in the morning to go charge the vehicle. So, because again, I just know how the vehicle works. Went over it took like 20 or 30 minutes to get to the charge. I understood like what I was facing. Then another car, it was a Tesla, pulls up, and the guy's like, "Hey man, do you understand why this thing is charging so slow?" I thought it's like supercharger, and asked him like, "Hey, how long have you had this car?" He's like, "Oh, just a couple days now." He's a taxi driver in Connecticut, and he just thought this is going to be much faster, much easier. And I asked like, "Hey, so how far did you come to the supercharger?" He's like, "Oh no, I only live like 3 minutes, 5 minutes away." And I told him like, "Hey, there's lots of things. You got to get the temperature up so that it charges as quickly as possible. Like all those things will matter. The usage of the supercharger station, they have some different chargers charge at different speeds. Like all these things are going to come into play. So I think for rideshare drivers, if you're doing Uber, you're doing Lyft, speed at charging is going to be the most important thing. And that's why for this, when my friend told me he's thinking about a Toyota BZ4X, I told him stop right there. Don't waste your money. Don't make a mistake. You need to get a Tesla. And here's why. So again, let's start with infrastructure, right? How many chargers there are. Because if you get a Tesla, you can charge at Tesla superchargers. If you get any other vehicle, right, of a Toyota BZ4X, a Volkswagen ID4, a Ford Mustang, an Audi e-tron, like all the other vehicles that are on the market to date right now, you'll be using CCS. Now, the main kind of corp company that is offering fast DC fast charging for CCS chargers here in the tri-state area is Electrify America. So let's take a look at just the map of what we have available for fast charging. So if you're using CCS, right? So if you, like my friend actually went ahead and bought the Toyota BZ4X, if he bought a Volkswagen ID4, if he bought a Ford Mustang Mach-E, nothing wrong with the cars. Like I was considering buying a Volkswagen ID4, but again, charging is not something that I want to like have struggle with. These are the chargers you're looking at for availability. So think about where you have to go along New York City if you're doing rideshare, Uber, Lyft here, and then planning charging. It could be very, very challenging. This here is Queens Center Mall. Queens Center Mall has Electrify America chargers as well as Tesla superchargers. This is JFK Airport. They have Tesla superchargers. They have Electrify America chargers. This is Green Acres Mall. This goes over, what is it, the Site Centers, Hempstead? I'm not sure if there's, well, we can take a look at the supercharger map here. But as you can see, if you start counting it, I'll just go here, like, because I think here is Roosevelt Field Mall or something like that, right? Let's just go from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you want to go up here, Stanford, 10, 11, 12. None in Manhattan, right? You got to go over to New Jersey to get charging. So if you're thinking about where am I going to charge, like you got all these like going from one passenger to another, where are you going to charge quickly and efficiently? If you're using a car with a CCS charger, that could be a problematic thing. So if you're looking at Tesla superchargers, however, again, there's just more superchargers, and generally speaking, Tesla supercharger stations have more units than Electrify America stations. Generally, when I'm past, I think Queens Center Mall, there's 4 EA stations. Over at Valley Stream, Green Center Mall, Green Acres Mall, it's like 4 EA stations. This at Green Acres Mall, the superchargers there, I think it's like 12, if not 16. Here at JFK Airport, these are 250 kilowatts, super fast, which I'll talk about in a minute. They are, I think there's 12 now. You have here Queen Center Mall. This is Glendale. Shops at Glendale. This is Sky Mall. So just more options available to you. Also in Manhattan, all of these are like inside of parking lots, and you probably want to avoid them. But just notwithstanding, if you're driving, doing Uber, Lyft, ride shares here, like Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, you just have a number of just the options are greater to charge, is what it is. So that's the first thing to consider. Like if you're a rideshare driver, where are you going to charge your car so that you're in and out as quickly as possible? And Tesla superchargers just offer more options. Now the second thing is going to be the speed of not just the supercharger or the chargers, but also what the car can take. That's something that like not a lot of people realize when they're looking at electric vehicles. It's not, you can't just plug into any charger and it's going to take the max speed. Every manufacturer, based on like the design of their battery, has limits and tolerances to what their battery pack can charge at. So running through that, Teslas, for instance, they charge at here, you can see 250 kilowatt max. And also every kind of manufacturer, depending on the battery pack, has like a charging curve. So Teslas will start off, they'll jump up to like 250 kilowatts if the battery is nice and toasty, and then start dwindling down. I usually measure it's about at 60% charging, it's still charging at about 100 kilowatts, and then it just tapers down. It keeps tapering down. That's what my experience with Tesla has been. But again, 250 kilowatts. So you can like the goal is get in as low as possible, take advantage of that huge curve, and then get out as quickly as possible. 250 kilowatt charging speed. Keep that in mind. Next one I'm going to show you. This is I pulled ID4 when I was looking at the website for Volkswagen. They don't make it like very clear what the charging speeds are, but if you go down here, you'll see. I saw it over. This is 2023, which they actually increased the charging speeds. I think it used to be like 125 or 145 kilowatt max onboard charge speed. They've upped it here. You can see 170 kilowatt DC fast charging capability. So the most that this car can charge at, the fastest speed, is going to be 170 kilowatts. Now, Volkswagen and Audi, their charging curves are pretty steady. So they like ramp up to the 170 and then they just maintain that until about 80%, and then at 80% that it tapers off as well. So that's what you'll experience here. But the reason why this is important is because people will plug into, like, Electrify America offers, if you go to some of their stations, there's like 300 kilowatt chargers, but the car can only take in a max of 170. So then you're wondering, like, why is it not charging 300? Because the car onboard maximum is 170 kilowatts. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Another car I want to show you is going to be the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Same kind of thing. I feel like this is wrong. I thought the Ford Mustang charged slightly faster, but this window sticker says 115 kilowatt. This may be the model that I pulled this up on. 115 kilowatt DC charging is the speed. I know Ford has tweaked its charging curve a couple of times, because there was a point at which it hit 80% and then it like fell off a cliff and did not. It took forever to charge from 80 to 100%. But as you can see, if this is accurate, 115 kilowatts. So you start seeing, like, if max you can charge is that speed, you're just staying at a charger for longer periods of time. Now Toyota is brutal, and I'll tell you this much. I tried looking up Toyota on their website, right? They don't tell you anything. They just say, like, this general DC fast charging, 30 minutes with 150 kilowatts or above. Then you go to the window sticker. It doesn't say anything about the charging speeds, right? So then it just says go to Toyota.com. You go to Toyota.com, and again, it doesn't tell you anything. It just says like 30 minutes with 150 kilowatt or whatever. Fortunately, there are lots of people in the EV industry who like run these tests to try to gauge what they charge at. And this is an article from Inside EVs, a pretty reputable source when it comes to electric vehicles. And they kind of found from their measurements that depending on which model you get, which battery pack you have, the front wheel drive smaller battery charges up to 150 kilowatts. And then the larger all-wheel drive model with the larger battery charges max speeds of 100 kilowatts. So think about that. If you're a rideshare driver and you gotta like charge your car, first of all, you have to figure out where the hell you're gonna charge. Like, keep that in mind at all times, because you may not have a charger nearby. And then if you get to the charger and you're only charging up to 100 kilowatts, that's gonna take a really long time, probably like an hour to get to 80%. or something like that. So these are all things to keep in mind when you're doing, and this is why when my friend approached me about that and he said he was going to get a Toyota for the purposes of rideshare, I'm like, do not make that mistake, because the most important thing, especially when it comes to rideshare, is going to be charging, getting in and out of chargers as quickly as possible, and then also having accessibility to chargers. And Tesla's the way to go. And moving forward, because more and more manufacturers are going to move to the Tesla charging standard anyways, might as well take advantage of that now, instead of having to use a whatchamacallit, like an adapter later on that maybe limits just your charging speeds and whatnot. So I told him, stop right there. Get yourself a Tesla. Don't even think about it. The car, like the charging infrastructure is the best infrastructure out there. It just works. You get great charging speeds. And that's what it is. So hopefully you found this informative. Again, just keep that in mind. If you're a rideshare driver, especially in the New York City area, you want to keep in mind, like, where are you going to charge this vehicle? How long is it going to take? And just understanding how different battery packs work, and where the charging situation, where your chargers are located. It just seems like like not even a question. If you're a rideshare driver, just go get a Tesla. Now, before you get your Tesla, there are a couple things you want to keep in mind, like, because right now to maybe get one, who knows how long it is. So one thing you may want to check if you want to jump ahead is probably look at Tesla vehicles. If you go to used and then see what's in their immediate inventory, and then you can probably get that right away. So Model Ys, there's nothing there. Model 3s, they have one Model 3 available. That's one way to do it. You can do things like CarMax, Carvana, whatever the case is. And another one that I do want to share with you is, this is where I sold my Model 3 to, sellmyev.com. They're like in South Jersey. But if you have here, their inventory, and you can see they've got like I should have had it up, but I know that they have, it's like it's a dealership, and they've got a number of EVs available. So you may want to reach out to them like today, tomorrow, if you have the availability, and check them out and see if they have any sitting on their lot that you can just pick up. I forgot what the actual dealership is called. J&S Auto House. J&S Auto House. Check it out. Yeah. I think it was Ewing. Body style. Let's just see. If you were looking for a Tesla, why not? 87 Teslas. Boom. And you're not dealing with like Tesla, whatever inventory they have. Just go down to them, give them a call, see what they have available, and then get your Tesla right tomorrow if you can. I sold I wonder if my Model 3 is there. Let's see. I had a 2020. Ooh, Model X's. Anyways, you can check them out, give them a call. They were great to deal with when I sold my Tesla, and I have no doubt that buying from them would be a great experience as well. So you can do that. And finally, if you are going to buy from Tesla, do myself a favor, but do yourself a favor and make sure to use a referral code. This is my referral code. It's down in the description below if you feel like this video provided value and you want to share the love. But when you use someone's referral code, Tesla does have a referral program. They offer like credits and whatnot. But when you buy using someone's referral code, they always change. Like every few months, they change what their offer is. So for instance, you get a Model 3 or Model Y right now, you're getting 6 months of supercharging plus 3 months of full self-driving. Forget about the 3 months full self-driving, because in New York City, I'll tell you what, you can't even use it. But 6 months free supercharging, if you're a rideshare driver, that's 6 months that you don't have to pay for charging the car. That's an incredible value. So if you are a like Uber Lyft driver and you're looking to get a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y, be sure to use my referral code. Again, I'll drop the link below, so that you can take advantage of 6 months free supercharging when you take delivery of your car. Anyways, hopefully you found this helpful. Drop any comments below, and until next time, take care, be well, bye for now.